Hello my friends, it's Lisa. So today I'm going to be doing a 24-hour readathon. I feel like it's been a while since last time I did a 24-hour readathon. It's been like maybe 2 months, which is probably not that long, but it feels like it's been a while and I've been wanting to do one a lot recently, so I figured I might as well do one today. And of course I had to vlog it and share the 24-hour readathon experience with you guys, so that is what we're doing. I wanted to go over my TBR for the readathon though before it officially started. So I feel like sometimes with my TBRs I have like a whole like spreadsheet or like PowerPoint presentation to show you guys explaining my plan for my TBR and what I want to read and everything. And I feel like this time I'm just gonna see where the day takes me. I kind of know what I want to start with, and there's kind of some similarities between the two books I'm choosing, so we might have a theme for this 24-hour readathon, but we'll see. So the first book I know I want to start with is As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. This is the third and final book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy, and I'm so excited to read this. I just recently read the second one, so that's kind of why I want to pick up the third one now. I don't want to like forget certain characters or certain things that have happened in the series before going into this one. And also I just want to complete some series this year. It's kind of a goal for me to make some progress and finish some series in 2022. So that would be finishing off a series that I've been reading for a while. So excited about this. This is a YA like mystery thriller series, and we're following Pip, who's kind of throughout the series trying to solve different like mysteries happening in her town. One in the first book was kind of one that had taken place like a few years back, but the kind of solution to that mystery and what happened just never sat right with her. She didn't think that that's really what happened, so she reinvestigates it. The second one is a mystery that's like currently happening throughout the book that she's trying to solve like in real time. And then I think this one, Pip is like the mystery, like she's in the center of this mystery that she's trying to solve. It's very much affecting her, so I'm very excited to read this. I feel like it's gonna go quick. I read the other two really fast, so I know I'm gonna fly through this, so I figured this is a good thing to start with. And then I also think it's always a good idea to have an audiobook going during a 24-hour readathon in case you want to just like take a break from physically reading, or if you have to like do something where you can't really sit there and physically read, but you can listen to an audiobook. I just think it's really great to have one going. So I think I'm going to start the audiobook for The Heart Principle by Helen Huang. And you might be wondering, Lisa, what is the similarity between As Good as Dead and The Heart Principle? And that is that they're both final books in series. I don't actually know if there's going to be more books in like the Kiss Quotient series, but I assume The Heart Principle is the last one. But I read the first two, The Kiss Quotient and The Bride Test, recently, and so I just kind of want to finish off yet another series that I've started, and I'm really excited for this one because my bestie Darian from Darian Reads read this and loved it, and we gave the first two books in this kind of companion series the same exact ratings, I think. So I'm really hopeful that I'm going to love The Heart Principle because Darian loved it. I actually think The Heart Principle and both As Good as Dead could potentially be 5 stars, which would be very exciting because I haven't had a 5-star yet this year. So I would really like for that to happen. Also with The Heart Principle, because it's the audiobook, I'm not trying to really complete that in this 24-hour readathon. I just kind of want to have it as something to listen to if I can't or don't want to be physically reading at that moment. So I also think I might set up my March reading journal spreads. So I haven't done that yet, so I need to do that. So I might listen to that while I do that, and I might do it during this readathon. Who knows? But yeah, The Heart Principle and As Good as Dead are kind of the only plans that I have right now. Like I was saying, there is that similarity of them being the final books in series. So I feel like maybe that should just be like the theme of this 24-hour readathon. See how many books I can read in series that I've started, and maybe try to finish off some series or just like continue on with some series that I've started. I definitely have some books on my TBR that are books that I can read to get caught up on a series or complete a series that I've started, so I might choose from those. I don't know what one I'm going to go for. I probably am just going to wait until I finish this and then see what I'm feeling at that point. But yeah, 2022 is the year of me getting caught up and finishing some of the millions of series I've started, so that might be a good idea to kind of focus on finishing up some series in this 24-hour readathon. But I'm definitely going to be starting with As Good as Dead. I'm so excited to get into this. And then I also will have the audiobook for The Heart Principle, and then we will see where the rest of the day takes us. But I just wanted to let you know my TBR for the readathon before it started. I think I'm going to start at noon, so I have like 25 minutes before it starts, so I'm just gonna get myself prepared, get myself cozy, and then the readathon will begin. It's been an hour since the readathon has started. It is 1:01 and I am up to chapter 9, page 63. So definitely going pretty quickly. I feel like things are already starting to happen. So very excited to continue on with this. But yeah, really liking it so far. Like I said, things are already kind of starting to happen. I already am stressed. But something that I'm also liking is that we're seeing how Pip's mental health is being affected by everything that she's experienced in this series. She has had to deal with very difficult things and has experienced and seen very traumatic things. And I think it's important to show that, you're not just going to experience these things and be fine. Her mental health is definitely struggling because of those things. So I think that that's really important to be shared. And I'm really enjoying seeing that. Well, obviously I'm not enjoying it. I feel bad for her and she's really struggling, but I think it's important to have that as an aspect. So I think that that's really great that that's being discussed. But yeah, still got a decent amount of the book left to go. So excited to continue on, but I wanted to take a break from reading that and switch over to my audiobook because I'm very hungry. I need to have some lunch. So I think I'm going to put the audiobook on, make myself some lunch, and then get back into reading As Good as Dead. A little check-in. It's now 3:20, so I've been doing this readathon for 3 hours and 20 minutes, and I'm now on page 138, which is the beginning of chapter 17. I'm almost a third of the way through the book, and I have a feeling that honestly at this point, I'm just gonna want to keep reading. I'm not gonna want to put it down. Just the circumstances of the mystery and the fact that it's happening to Pip has me very stressed out, so I'm just gonna want to know what's going on, so I might not update again until this is finished. I don't think I'm gonna be able to listen to my audiobook again either. I literally just want to sit here and read this until it's done because I want to know everything that's happening. But something I love about these books is the mixed media element as well. They sometimes will have she has a podcast at one point, so they'll have the audio files from the podcast, the transcript of that. And then also if they take pictures of anything, that will be put at the end of chapters. And just a few pages ago when I was reading, a character scanned over some files over to Pip. And you know how when you scan something, you can't always get it perfectly lined up. So sometimes the pages are a little crooked. They're literally in here. Let's see if I can show you. They're literally in here, and I don't know if you can tell, but they're a little crooked. They're not completely straight. So it makes it look just so real, and it makes it so immersive to read it because you just you feel you're figuring everything out with Pip and you're experiencing everything with her, which is why I love these books. It's just such an immersive experience, and you just feel you're in it. So definitely gonna just spend the rest of the afternoon and evening reading this. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to finish this before I go to sleep tonight. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to read it, but I definitely am gonna have to finish this before I go to sleep, and then we'll pick my next read after that. But I need to get this done. I need to know what's going on. Oh, also quickly, I wanted to show off one of my new bookmarks. I got a couple more. They're these pressed flower bookmarks, and they're so stunning, and they're based off of fictional characters. So this one is the Elizabeth Bennet one from Pride and Prejudice, so obviously I had to get it. And in case you're wondering, the brand is, I think it's called Page Pedal. I'll have the link to their website linked below, but I'm absolutely obsessed. They're so stunning, and I just don't see myself using any other bookmark ever again. But I thought I'd share because I know I've shown it in a couple of clips, and if it were me and I saw that type of bookmark, I would want to know where people got it. So I'll have it linked below. I'm obsessed. What is happening right now? um, what's happening? Okay, hi. I'm stressed. I just had a bit of a break for dinner. It's now 6:16, and I just am gonna get right back into reading because this book has me stressed. I'm so curious to see where the rest of this book's going because I'm a little over halfway through and things are already happening and I'm just like, what is going to be in this second half? Like, what are we going to find out? What is going to be happening? And something very big just happened and I just don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm stressed. So that's how this book's going. I'm so curious to see what happens in the second half of this book. I want to get right back into it. I'm gonna spend the rest of the night reading this. I'll probably finish it soon-ish. I don't know. I'm stressed. I just need to get back into reading. I need to know what's going to happen. I don't think I'm gonna do this after the pain I just went through, but I was thinking this.
Oh.
But I don't know if I'm not. I don't know. I'm scared.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna cry.
Well, see, that's what I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm too fragile. Yeah, okay. So then my other two options, Love and Olives,
Oh.
because this is fun, wholesome, probably not going to make me have a breakdown, or Act Your Age, Eve Brown. The only thing is, this one's kind of long.
Yeah.
So I'm like...
But it's YA, so it goes by really fast.
Right, and I've read these... I think I read the other one for 24-hour readathon, and I read, like, most of it. So, I don't know.
I kind of like Love and Olives. Because I feel like Eve Brown, even though it's like a silly, goofy romance, there are themes in there that will either make you soft or make you want to cry.
I don't need to cry anymore.
And we buddy read the first two, so we have to buddy read the last one.
So true.
Agreed.
It's only the law.
You're
only the law.
So right.
Argue with the law.
I just hope that it doesn't make me cry. Okay.
Yeah, we don't think reading Heartstopper Volume 4 is...
Well, that's what I was like, this could be a fun, silly, goofy time, and then I just had, like, a mental breakdown over that book, so I don't think...
Yeah.
It's not as silly.
I don't need to have another mental breakdown so close together. So this is the move. This seems to be the move. It's only like 500 pages. It's fine.
Really?
It's like exactly 500 pages, I think. Mm-hmm.
Woof.
Yeah.
Pretty frag.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so large, but...
I think you're like hitting 1,000.
They sure eat a lot of olives.
Yeah.
And that's the plot.
Are those the only two books, like, the series that you have to finish?
Oh no. Except I have to have a breakdown first.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
You guys are so distracting. I'm just trying to read. Like a good person.
I've been reading all day.
Yeah, until you weren't distracting. It's Darian.
Classic.
I think
You're right.
before.
Can I read? Can I read this tweet? Okay, hi. I wanted to give some updates. It's now
10:03, so we have just under 2 hours left of the readathon, so I'm gonna try to make this quick so I can just get back into reading and read as much as possible in the last 2 hours. But I did want to update because last night I did manage to finish As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson, and I feel like this took me a lot longer than I was anticipating it taking, but I did finish it, and I finished it before going to sleep, so that was really the only thing I wanted. But this was a journey. I just totally was not anticipating where this book was going. I feel like the first half I was just very confused because I felt like I knew something that like should have been obvious, but like they weren't saying it, so I was like, maybe I'm wrong. And then just the halfway point, things took a turn, and it was stressful. I honestly was so stressed basically this whole time. My heart was racing, and I genuinely was so stressed reading this. So clearly Holly Jackson is super talented at making you feel all of the things. And then the very last page of this book just hurt my feelings. And I don't know, I knew I liked these characters. I knew I cared for them because of the things that they were experiencing throughout this series. I obviously was like hoping that they'd be okay and was rooting for them to get out of everything and figure everything out. But I feel like this one really got a bit dark in certain places, and I just feel like I realized how much I cared about these characters and all of the different relationships and friendships in here and just wanting everyone to be okay. But yeah, this was a journey, and I gave it 5 stars. I was talking to Casey about this because she's read this series, and she said like for most of the book it was feeling like a 4-star up until kind of that ending, and then it bumped it up to a 5, and I kind of feel the same because there definitely were parts where I was like, this seems to be dragging a little bit, and also I was just kind of questioning what was going on in the second half, more so like why these characters were choosing to do this, but it made it very stressful. It made it interesting to read, so that's why. So yeah, I ended up giving this 5 stars. I don't know, I might lower it, but I also feel like this book made me feel so much. Like, it genuinely stressed me out so much and made me feel so much for the characters that I feel like it is deserving of that 5 star. So I think it's gonna be my official first 5 star of the year. Yay me. But yeah, finished this, and I also last night while I was talking to Darian and Casey had them help me pick my next read because I had a few options of books that were final books in series I was reading or like the next book in a series where I'd be caught up. So I gave the options Act Your Age, Eve Brown, which is the final book in the Brown Sisters trilogy, and Heartstopper Volume 4, which is not the last volume, but Volume 5 isn't out yet, so if I read this, I'd be completely caught up. But what we all decided on was that I should read Love and Olives by Jenna Evans Welch. This is the third and final book in the Love and Gelato series. I would imagine that's what it's called. I'm not actually sure, but there's Love and Gelato, Love and Luck, and then Love and Olives, and they're all like companion contemporary romance books. And I was so surprised by Love and Gelato when I read it a couple years ago. I was so surprised that I liked it so much. I'm not typically a YA contemporary girly, so I was really surprised by this series, and I've loved both of them, so I'm really excited to continue on with this one. I am really enjoying it. Each one is like following a different girl and a different romance, and they're all set in different places. So this one is set in Greece, and I just want to be there. Reading this and then looking out my window and seeing a bunch of snow is just so disappointing for me. But so far I'm liking it. I'm on page 194, I think, and I'm hoping I probably will get at least halfway, which this book is like exactly 500 pages, so I definitely think I'll reach the halfway point before the readathon ends. I probably am going to reach the 300 page mark. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it in the next 2 hours, but I mean, it could happen. These do read very quickly, so we'll see, but I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it, but at least I will make some good progress, I think. I'll be close to finishing it by the end of this readathon. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to reading. Also, maybe I should update on the audiobook. I have been listening to The Heart Principle in between me like not being able to physically read, like while I've been getting ready for bed and things like that. I'm 22% of the way through The Heart Principle, so not, a ton of progress, but like I said, I didn't want to try and finish that. I just wanted to have that to listen to in the times in between physically reading, so I'm making pretty decent progress there. But yeah, now I'm gonna go because this is not helpful with me trying to read as much as possible in the next 2 hours, so I will leave you there and I will check back in maybe one more time before the readathon ends, but if not, I will definitely check back in at the end with all of the progress I made, the final page count, all of that, and yeah, time to start reading for the next 2 hours. Alright friends, the 24-hour readathon has come to an end, so I just wanted to give some final updates, my amount of pages that I read, all of that fun stuff. So first, like I was just discussing, I finished As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson and ended up giving this 5 stars. Very happy that I at least concluded a series. And then after finishing As Good as Dead, I picked up Love and Olives by Jenna Evans Welch, and very ambitious of me to pick a 500-page book to read like halfway through a 24-hour readathon, but I did manage to read a decent amount of it. I'm on page 340, and there's exactly 500 pages in this book, which is very pleasing. So I have like 160 pages left to read, and there is maybe a chance that I'll just finish it later today. I feel like I always say at the end of 24-hour readathons that I'm just going to keep on reading, and then I never do. I still love the setting. I do really like the characters. Theo, who is like the love interest, is very precious, so loving that. And part of the reason why I liked Love and Gelato, which is the first book in this kind of companion series, and why it kind of surprised me, was the fact that they are like YA, fluffy, kind of contemporary rom-com kind of vibes, but there are like serious things that these characters are dealing with, and this one does deal with the fact that our main character has a very strained relationship with her dad. Her dad ended up leaving her and her mom when she was about 8 years old, and now she's 17 and kind of seeing him for the first time in that almost 10-year span. And so there's a lot of awkwardness, and she's kind of uncomfortable with certain things and doesn't quite know how to feel about everything. So I do like that there is that more kind of difficult discussions going on, but also it is mostly a fluffy YA contemporary kind of vibe. I just really like it. I'm enjoying it. Very excited to finish it, but yeah, also we'll be finishing another series once I do finish this. So that was kind of the goal. And as for a final update on the Heart Principle audiobook, I obviously haven't been listening to it the past couple of hours because I was reading Love and Olives, so I'm still 22% of the way through, but I'm liking it so far. I thought I was going to maybe listen to a little bit more than that because I thought I was going to set up my reading journal at some point during this readathon, but that didn't happen. I thought I was going to finish As Good as Dead a little bit earlier on in the day than I did, so by the time I finished it at like 10, I just wasn't in the mood to like journal and do all that stuff. So I didn't listen to as much of it as I maybe thought I was going to, but I'm still happy with what I read, so I think it's fine. I still think it's a good idea to have an audiobook for those times when you aren't physically reading. It's very helpful. So yeah, still reading that. Not very far, but I'm enjoying it so far. I love Quan. He's like the love interest in this book, and he's my fave so far. Out of the 3 books, he's my favorite like male lead in these books. I just love him. Okay, I'm now gonna just quickly figure out how many pages I read. I don't remember how many pages there were in As Good as Dead, so I'm gonna do some quick math to figure out how many pages I actually read during this 24-hour readathon. Alright, so with finishing As Good as Dead and the progress I made in Love and Olives, I managed to read 795 pages, which I think is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I also, finished a book in a series, the final book in a series, so that's good, and I'm almost done with another book that's the final book in a series, so I'm very happy with that. Oh, and I also listened to 2 hours of my audiobook as well, so I would definitely say that this 24-hour readathon was a success, and I'm just very happy with, one, reading books off of my physical TBR because I haven't really been doing that this year. I've read a lot of like ebooks and audiobooks this year, but also making some progress in finishing up some series that I've started because I definitely need to do that. So maybe I'll do more 24-hour readathons in the future where I try to complete even more series or just make progress on some series. I think that that would be a good way to get me through some of them that I need to finish. But I think that that is going to be it for this 24-hour readathon vlog. Definitely let me know if you want to see more like themed 24-hour readathon vlogs, because I can definitely do that. Or if you're in the middle of a bunch of series, please let me know. Please make me feel better about myself. But that is going to be it for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.